Beach. One day later, and the organizers of the No Kings protests are calling them a success. Nationwide, nearly 7 million people attended the rallies. Hampton Roads was no exception as our crews tracked gatherings in Chesapeake, Newport News, Williamsburg, and Virginia Beach. Emily Harrison caught up with organizers to learn more.
No KKK, no fascist USA!
Organizers say up to 3,000 people packed into the Fountain Plaza at Town Center as protesters brought signs and inflatables for a No Kings protest.
I think we had more young people there yesterday than we've had at our previous rallies.
Carrie Short with Cova Coalition says 3,000 protesters is just scratching the surface. As Short says, another 1,000 people attended the No Kings protest in Chesapeake and that more than 5,000 people went to Williamsburg. Short says all of the protests were peaceful and says claims that the Virginia Beach protest, quote, shut down early are not true.
Our permit stated that we would be at the Fountain Plaza until 1 o'clock. We got a phone call from the police asking us to wrap it up, which we needed to do because we had run over time. It wasn't very controversial. I mean, we were adhering to our permit.
Meanwhile, several top Republican leaders call the protests un-American and filled with hate speech. House Speaker Mike Johnson relabeled the No Kings protest as the Hate America Rally. Leslie Coggle, a 13 News Now political analyst, says renaming these protests is intentional.
But this is all about kind of control in some ways of the narrative around this. Right? One of the quickest ways to disempower protesters here is to label them in some way as antagonists, as opposed to how the protesters, I'm sure, would frame themselves and certainly do in interviews.
Law enforcement announced only one arrest associated with these protests so far. Kitty Hawk police say Rhonda Lloyd tried to take an American flag out of another person's hands while making derogatory comments. Lloyd now faces charges for assault, larceny, and disorderly conduct. I'm Emily Harrison, 13 News Now.
Governor Glenn Youngkin put the National Guard on active duty status ahead of the protesting, but our crews did not see any troops at our local events.